9. Alex Crook was with me as we went into the final minutes, and it was sensationally interesting.
Was it chaos? Because you went into that show with Jason and Jamie O'Hara using words of more than one syllable.
Yes. A very good point, Simon. Very good point. Alex and I were joined by Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy in here. Cundy, of course, gave the thumbs up right away to Saul Niguez going into Chelsea. He was saying that is great business. Yeah. Quite a lot of West Ham fans getting in touch. Here's Brad. Morning, guys. I can't hear any praise for the Hammers this morning, and there should be praise out there. Trevor, you've been praising them. He says, I think we've had a pretty darn good window, says Brad, and the owners deserve a bit of respect and a bit of praise for that. West Ham fans, I mean, what do you think? In all honesty, Vlasic, Kral, Zuma, and the goalkeeper all in there. Where are West Ham going to end up as a result of that? Have you strengthened? Have you strengthened well? Did many of you expect Lingard to come back? He didn't come back. He stayed with Manchester United. That's another matter. We'll get into that very shortly. There is Ryan, big Arsenal fan. Guys, I am very happy with our transfer window and long-term contracts for Tierney and Smith Rowe. So no longer Silent Stan. Well, maybe not, Simon. Maybe not. Silent Stan has not been so silent, certainly, in terms of
financially getting
the checkbook out.
But that's not really true, Jim, because as I said the other day, if you look at Arsenal's average spend Arsenal spent 550 million over the last 5 transfer windows. Yeah. So they spend over the last 5 seasons. They spend 110 million. So to spend 130 million is not out of keeping with what Arsenal, as a matter of course, have done over the last 5 years. What they've spent it on, well, that's a different discussion. Yeah.
Well, they're top of the net spenders, and they're doing it, Simon, at a time that they're not in Europe. So you might not have expected it. But this is what they've done. This is what they've done. So, I mean, I would say, certainly, Trevor, on Arsenal, and we have an Arsenal fan in with us this morning, Michelle Through the Glass, a big Arsenal fan, so we better watch what we say here. Arsenal, the biggest spenders in this window, so they've done well. Is this a show of trust in Arteta, Trev?
It could be. I think, you know, you've got a lot of young players coming to the football club, where they might need time to bed in, to get used to the Premier League.
All the signings are around 23.
But apart from Ben White, because we know that he's done it in the Premier League already. But what I would say is, I thought they were desperate for a striker who could be a focal point. Lacazette's not renewing his contract. He looks like he's out the door in next summer. And Tammy Abraham, I've mentioned it before, across London, I think they should have gone all out for him.
He's the one they missed.
They missed it. I mean, the goal he scored the other day for Ron was unbelievable. He's a great player. He's a great prospect. I think he's going to be the real deal. We've had our little debates about this, Simon, but I honestly do feel going away to Italy, playing in a different league, he's going to find his feet and he's going to end up being a top player.
You've got Aubameyang.
We agree.
You've got Aubameyang.
Aubameyang's a left forward. He's not a focal point. If you're trying to play out from the back of your Arsenal and a team, I've explained this before, a team don't fancy you in possession, don't fancy your patterns of play getting through their press, what do? You play a little dink into the chest of your centre forward. You can't do that with Aubameyang. He's not strong enough. He's not tall enough. His hold-up play is not good enough.
He should be scoring for fun, or at least he used to when he played for Dortmund.
Yeah. We have to be careful how we advance the idea of a good transfer window. A good transfer window doesn't just mean you spend loads of money. A good transfer window means you get good players in. I mean, this situation at Arsenal, irrespective of what they have and haven't signed, is going to manifest itself in an outcome if they stink it out against Norwich, Burnley, and they get beat by Tottenham in the North London derby. Then I think you've got a directional change with the manager. I think he'll come under irresistible force to remove him if they play poorly against Norwich and they don't get some results against Norwich and Burnley and they are very poor against Tottenham. I think then all of a sudden you've got a set of players that were brought in, and the question is this: were those players brought in because they're good players, or were those players brought in because they were brought in to support Mikel Arteta? You would like to think they were brought in because they're good players and whoever the manager is going to be able to do something with them, because if that's not the case then they were in a bloody fool's errand, because Arteta for me is moving very quickly into the territory of the green Salida exit sign pointing his direction, because I don't think he's going to come out of this tailspin.
Well, you think because of their age, Trevor, they will have less ego than many of the players might have these days when they're moving about.
They'll have less ego and they'll be easier to manage. They'll be, exactly. They should be easier to manage, especially if you've had a grown-up conversation prior to bringing them in, and they know what to expect with Arteta.
But they wouldn't be doing this kind of business, Trevor, if they weren't going to keep Arteta semi-long term, would they? But this has to be a show of faith in them.
What if they stay bottom 3 in the league? How long is that going to continue? That's the bigger question, because it's all right saying we've brought these players in because Arteta wants these players to work with, but these players might not be ready yet. It might take them a long time to bed into the Premier League, the standards, the fitness, the intricacies.
Trevor, they've got to hit the ground running, surely.
Well, they've got to.
Well,
I feel for Arteta's sake.
Over 50% of those signings are the goalkeeper in terms of economic value and Ben White. So there's the goalkeeper's a decent goalkeeper. The argument will be advanced by Martin Keown that they should never have let the guy go to Aston Villa. Right, but that is what it is, and they've now brought another goalkeeper in for the same money.
Conceded the most amount of goals in the country last year.
And played in the worst teams in those divisions, so it's not surprising. But by the same token, they've got a goalkeeper back in for the same money they sold the goalkeeper to Aston Villa for. Ben White's 50 million quid. So those are two signings that take up £75 million of their spend. Neither one of them ignite or excite me. Ben White's a good player. He's a good player, but he needs good players alongside him for him to be able to develop in the same way that John Stones has taken a long time to get his backside in gear. He's probably got his backside in gear when Ruben Diaz has arrived and been able to develop, although you should have said he should have been able to do that with Vincent Kompany.
Well, I disagree with that, because I actually feel before his injury, I feel John Stones was playing some of the best football he's played until Ruben Diaz arrived. And then when he come back from his injury, it took him a while to get back into it. But I accept what you're saying about, Ruben Diaz coming to the football club has given him a rocket up his backside. And he's
do you think Arteta's in grave... I mean, I hate talking about people losing their jobs because it's not sport for me. It's not fun to talk about people losing their jobs. But by the same token...
Well, you sacked more than a few.
Well, that's my choice because I paid the bill, and ultimately I had reasons for firing people rather than shouting them out.
Oh, I see. Right?
But by the same token, we look at the situation with Arteta, and I was going to say to Trevor, do you see Arteta being able to punch his way out of this? I mean, there's 3 games in. The Man City and the Chelsea losses can be explained. The Brentford one is the aberration. Right? But now they're into a territory of people beginning to become very concerned about Arteta.
Yeah.
We even got Martin Keown off the fence.
Yeah, and well, for me, when you look at the spine of the team, when you look at like common sense in games and leadership in games, I'm struggling to find it in that Arsenal team. And it's all right having it in Tierney, who's a left back or left wing back or left centre half. You need it down the spine of your team.
Sure.
I'm looking at Leno. Don't really see leadership. I've seen his head fall off a few times when mistakes have been made. I'm looking down the centre of the pitch. I'm looking at Xhaka getting sent off left, right and
he's
centre.
a leader, but he's not necessarily the right kind of leader, is he?
He needs controlling. Patting him on the backside when he gets sent off. I'd be absolutely wringing his neck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what does it say then? Albeit Arsenal top of the shop in terms of net spend, but is what they've done, is it virtually a sign of trust in Mikel Arteta? And Arsenal fans, are you happy with the business that has been done? 08717 223344. Shoot me a message if you don't want to call. 81089. As well as all that, I'm seeing it, and I can't believe it, but I'm seeing it, Trevor. The good Mr. Gold and Mr. Sullivan are being praised this morning at West Ham. Lewis Wall is another. Jim, congratulations to GSB for doing what any decent Premier League owners would do by backing their manager and bringing in a bunch of decent players. Well done for that, Lewis. Evertonians maybe not so happy. Paul, a big Evertonian. Jim, honestly, I don't know what Marcel Brands does. The majority of his signings have been poor. Rondon's in, but it shows how small our ambition actually is. I hope I'm wrong, says Paul, the Everton fan. 08717 223344 81089. Get to the phones the morning after the night before.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning 10 till 1 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.